Hey everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. We're so glad you decided to join us today.
Yes, welcome.
You know, we like to think of this show as giving you a shortcut to really understanding a topic. You know, you come with maybe like an interesting question or some articles or even a book.
Yeah, whatever you're curious about.
And we do all the hard work of reading everything and then pulling out the interesting stuff.
We find those little nuggets.
Yeah, and sometimes it's stuff that's super surprising.
Oh, absolutely. There are always surprises.
So to kick things off today, we thought we'd dive into a real mystery.
Okay.
It's actually a historical mystery.
Ooh, I like those.
It's one that has puzzled scientists.
Yeah.
And people who just love mysteries for over 100 years.
Wow, over a century.
So let's set the scene, all right?
Okay, I'm ready.
It's June 30th, 1908. It's early in the morning.
All right.
And we're in a really remote part of the world.
Yeah.
The Tunguska River region of Siberia.
Siberia, wow, that's remote.
You know, picture it just vast and quiet and pristine.
Yeah.
Local reindeer herders were just starting their day.
I can picture it.
And they had no idea what was about to happen.
I bet.
The sky above them was about to unleash something unbelievable.
Oh, no.
Suddenly, it was like the sky just ripped open.
Really?
Years later, people who were miles away would talk about this blinding light.
Wow.
Like a fiery object shooting across the sky.
Oh, wow.
And then this massive force hit.
So there was an explosion.
A huge shockwave.
Wow.
It spread out for hundreds of kilometers.
Hundreds of kilometers.
Windows shattered in towns far away.
Wow, it's been powerful.
They even recorded seismic readings thousands of miles away.
That's incredible.
And get this, millions of trees were flattened.
Millions.
Like in a perfect circle.
Like something just knocked them all down.
Exactly, like a giant hand just pushed them over.
So what was it?
That is the big question.
It really is. It makes you think how much we don't know about our own planet.
I know, it's amazing to think about. And for those of you joining us for the first time,
yeah, welcome.
This is the kind of deep dive we do on the show.
Exactly.
We take a mystery and we really explore it.
We look at all the different angles.
Exactly. And with something like this, there are so many theories.
Yeah, there are so many ideas about what could have happened.
So what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear about this?
I mean, what gets me is that there was so much destruction.
Yeah.
But we don't know what caused it.
Right.
You think explosion, you immediately think impact.
Right. Yeah, you'd think so.
But with Tunguska, there's no obvious crater, which is strange.
Yeah, you'd expect like a huge hole in the ground.
Right, like a giant meteor crater.
But there's nothing like that.
That's what makes it so interesting.
So let's get into the theories.
Yeah, let's hear them.
The most common explanation is that it was a meteor.
Okay, a meteor.
But not just any meteor, an airburst.
Oh, an airburst.
So what do we mean by airburst?
So picture this. A big space rock, like maybe a chunk of an asteroid or a comet.
Yeah.
It comes hurtling into Earth's atmosphere at super high speed.
Right, like thousands of miles per hour.
Way faster. Tens of thousands of kilometers per hour, at least.
Wow. Okay, so this thing is really moving.
Yeah, and as it comes through the air, it creates a ton of friction.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
And that friction generates a lot of heat.
So it starts to heat up.
It heats up so much that instead of hitting the ground, it explodes in the air.
Oh, wow. So it's like a massive midair explosion.
Exactly. And when I say massive, I mean massive.
So how big are we talking about here?
Scientists think this space rock was probably 50 to 100 meters across.
Wow, that's like the length of a football field.
Exactly. And when something that big explodes in the air, the energy released is just phenomenal.
How much energy are we talking?
We're talking about the equivalent of several megatons of TNT.
Wow, that's a lot.
Enough to create a massive shock wave and flatten millions of trees.
Okay, so that kind of explains the power.
Right.
But if this thing was so big and exploded with so much force, why didn't it leave a crater?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you think something that big would leave a mark.
You'd think so.
Yeah.
If a solid rock had slammed into the ground with that force, we'd expect to see a giant crater, like the ones we see from other impacts.
Right, like the Barringer crater in Arizona.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like that at Tunguska.
Which is really strange.
Very strange.
And it's not just the lack of a crater, right?
No.
You'd think there would be pieces of the meteor scattered around.
You would, right. But despite years of searching, scientists haven't found any big chunks of rock that they can definitively say came from the Tunguska event.
So where did they go?
That's another part of the puzzle.
So this lack of a crater and lack of debris, it has led to some more out there theories.
Oh, I love the out there theories.
I know, me too. So what about aliens?
Aliens, now you're talking.
I know, it's a classic, right?
It's a classic for a reason. I mean, it's an unexplained event.
Right.
No impact crater, no debris. It makes you wonder.
So what would the alien theory suggest?
Well, the basic idea is that it wasn't a meteor or comet at all.
Okay.
It was an alien spacecraft.
An alien spacecraft? Well,
And maybe it malfunctioned or something.
oh.
Or maybe they even intentionally blew it up over a remote area.
To avoid hurting anyone.
Yeah, maybe they were trying to protect us.
Interesting.
So people point to eyewitness accounts that talk about strange lights in the sky.
Before the explosion.
Yeah, like objects that were moving in ways that a normal meteor wouldn't.
And the perfect circle of flattened trees.
Right, so people say that looks more like a directed energy weapon.
Like something from Star Wars.
Exactly, like something very precise.
And then no crater, no debris thing.
Well, right, an alien spacecraft could have disintegrated in a totally different way.
Yeah, we don't know what kind of technology they might have.
Exactly.
But we do have to be careful with eyewitness accounts.
Yep.
A lot of them were collected years after the event.
Yeah, people's memories can be fuzzy.
And scientists have done modeling that shows that an airburst could cause that circular pattern of tree damage.
Right, it makes sense when you think about the physics of it.
And of course, the biggest problem with the alien theory
Yeah.
is that there's no real evidence.
No alien wreckage, no little green men.
So as much as we love the idea,
It's fun to think of
we
it.
have to stick to the facts.
We do.
But there is another theory that's almost as wild.
Oh, even wilder than aliens.
Maybe. It involves a black hole.
A black hole.
A miniature black hole.
Oh, okay.
I know, it's kind of mind-blowing.
It is.
So the idea here is that a tiny black hole,
Like how tiny?
one that was formed right after the Big Bang.
Oh, a primordial black hole.
Yeah, one of those.
Okay.
It could have passed right through the Earth.
Through the Earth.
Yeah, entered on one side and came out the other.
Oh, wow.
And as it passed through,
Yeah.
its gravity would have released a ton of energy.
So, enough to cause the Tunguska explosion.
That's the theory.
And no crater, because it went straight through.
Right. No impact, just a passage through.
That's pretty ingenious.
It is, but there's a catch.
Well, there's always a catch.
These primordial black holes, as far as we know, they're just theoretical.
So we don't even know if they exist.
Right, there's no proof.
And even if they did exist,
Yeah.
a black hole passing through the Earth would probably cause way more chaos.
Like what kind of chaos?
You'd see crazy gravitational effects and way more earthquakes.
That makes sense.
More than what happened to Tunguska.
Okay, so black holes are probably out.
Probably.
But it's still a cool idea, right?
It's definitely fun to think about.
Okay, so let's move on to another theory.
Okay.
One that involves a famous inventor,
Oh, who are we talking about?
Nikola Tesla,
Nikola Tesla, the electricity guy.
the one and only.
What does he have to do with Tunguska?
Well, the theory goes that Tesla was working on this wireless power transmission technology.
Right, he was way ahead of his time.
And some people think he was doing a big experiment.
Okay.
Maybe he was trying to send power to the Arctic or something.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
But something went wrong,
Oh, no.
and the energy ended up being released over Siberia.
Causing the Tunguska explosion.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
And the timing kind of lines up.
Yeah.
The Tunguska event was in 1908,
Right?
and that was when Tesla was doing a lot of his wireless power experiments.
At his Wardenclyffe Tower lab.
Exactly.
It's a cool theory.
It is, but there are some problems.
Oh, there are?
First of all, the Tunguska explosion was huge.
Yeah.
Like way bigger than anything Tesla could have created.
We're talking megatons of TNT, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, Tesla is brilliant, but I don't think he had that kind of power.
And there's no record of him doing an experiment like that.
Even in his notes.
No, nothing.
So it's probably not Tesla.
Probably not, but it's a fun story, right?
Definitely. Tesla was a real-life mad scientist.
Okay, so we've talked about aliens, black holes, and Tesla.
A pretty good lineup.
Now let's go back to space.
Okay, back to space.
We talked about the meteor airburst theory,
Right.
but what about comets?
Comets, yeah, they're different from meteors.
They are. Comets are mostly made of ice and dust.
Right, and frozen gases.
So that could explain why there's no crater.
How so?
Well, if a comet hit the atmosphere,
Yeah,
it could have completely vaporized.
turned into gas.
Exactly. The ice and dust would have just dissipated into the air.
That would explain the lack of debris.
And the explosion.
Yeah, what about the explosion?
Well, even though comets are mostly ice,
Yeah,
they're still moving super fast.
right. Tens of thousands of kilometers per hour.
So when they hit the atmosphere,
Yeah,
they release a ton of energy.
enough to cause the Tunguska event.
That's what some scientists think.
That makes sense.
And there were reports of strange lights in the sky after the event.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading about that.
Some people think that was comet dust.
Reflecting sunlight.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It is. So the comet theory is definitely a possibility.
It's a strong contender.
But we're not done yet.
There are more theories.
There are always more theories.
Oh boy, bring them on.
Okay, what if the explosion didn't come from space at all?
What are you suggesting?
What if it came from the Earth itself?
From the Earth?
Yeah, like a massive release of gas.
Well, like a natural gas explosion.
Exactly. Siberia has a lot of natural gas deposits.
Yeah, I've heard about those.
So the theory is that a huge pocket of methane...
Methane, that's flammable.
Very flammable. It was trapped underground.
Okay.
And then something happened, maybe an earthquake.
Yeah.
And all that methane was released into the air.
And then it ignited.
Boom!
Yeah.
A massive explosion.
Wow, that would do it.
But could it create that circular pattern of tree damage?
That's a good question.
It's tough to say.
Explosions on the ground usually don't cause that kind of damage.
But maybe it was a series of smaller explosions.
Or maybe the blast wave interacted with the terrain in a weird way.
Yeah, there are ways it could have happened.
It's definitely possible.
Okay, one last theory for you.
Hit me with it.
Volcanoes.
Volcanoes. In Siberia.
Siberia does have volcanoes.
Yeah, but I thought they were dormant.
Most of them are, but maybe one woke up in 1908.
And caused the Tunguska event.
It's a long shot.
I'll say.
But it's worth considering.
So what do the geologists say?
They say there's no evidence of a volcanic eruption in that area at that time.
No ash, no lava flows.
Nothing.
So probably not volcanoes.
Probably not.
It seems like we keep coming back to space.
It does, doesn't it?
Some kind of impact from above.
Whether it was a meteor or a comet.
Or even a black hole.
Okay, maybe not a black hole.
Probably not.
But it was definitely something from out there.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It really is.
This event happened over 100 years ago.
In a super remote part of the world.
And we're still trying to figure it out.
It's a reminder that there are still mysteries out there.
And that the universe is full of surprises.
And that's what we love about the deep dive.
Right.
We take these mysteries and we explore them with you.
We go deep.
We look at the evidence, the theories.
And with different perspectives.
And we try to make sense of it all.
It's a journey of discovery.
Exactly. And we hope you'll join us on more of these journeys.
We've got plenty more mysteries to explore.
So what are you curious about?
Yeah, what's your Tunguska?
What's that one question that keeps you up at night?
Let us know.
We might just do a deep dive on it.
You never know.
So keep exploring. Keep asking questions.
Stay curious.
And we'll see you on the next deep dive.
Bye, everyone.